Okay, here's a little crazy, but okay. I'm going to be reading the 70 Elders. So, nowadays people think, this is how I see it, people think, oh, older people, they're stuck in the past, we don't want to do things their way. But there's a reason they live to an old age. Not because they're stupid. Okay, smart. So, let me go blow my nose real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so, now when the people complained, it displeased the Lord. I can't stand complaining either, so I can feel that. Now the Lord heard it, and his anger was aroused. So the fire of the Lord burned among them, and consumed some in the outskirts of the camp. So, you don't think God's fire can consume? It can. Then the people cried out to Moses, and when Moses prayed to the Lord, the fire was quenched. So, Moses is kind of like a symbol of Christ in a way, okay? In the sense. So he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of the Lord had burned among them. Now the mixed multitude who were among them yielded to intense crying. So the children of Israel also wept again and said, "Who will give us meat to eat?" Here they go, whining again. "We remember the fish which we ate freely in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now our whole being is dried up. There is nothing at all except this manna before our eyes." So they're getting sick of seeing this manna. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its color like the color of bdellium. I'm not sure what that is. The people went about and gathered it around it on millstones, or beat it in the mortar, cooked it in pans, and made cakes of it. And its taste was like the taste of pastry prepared with oil. So that sounds pretty good. Maybe like a pancake or something. And when the dew fell on the camp in the night, the manna fell on it. Then Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, everyone at the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was greatly aroused. Moses also was displeased. So he's getting sick of it too. He's like, I gotta hear y'all whining and complaining. First you whine you don't have food. Then you whine because you're tired of the food. So Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you afflicted your servant? And why have I not found favor in your sight? And you have laid the burden of all the people on me. Did I conceive all these people? Did I beget them? That you should say to me, carry them in your bosom, as a guardian carries a nursing child to the land which you swore to their fathers?" So he's getting tired. He's like, why do I gotta keep leading these stupid people? All they do is whine. I don't want to hear it. Okay. "Where am I to get meat to give all these people? For they weep all over me, saying, give us meat that we may eat. I am not able to bear all these people alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. If you treat me like this, please kill me here and now, if I have found favor in your sight, and do not let me see my wretchedness." So he's like, if I find favor in your sight, just do me in, I ain't gonna listen to this no more. So the Lord said to Moses, "Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them. Bring them to the tabernacle of meeting, that they may stand there with you. Then I will come down and talk with you there. I will take the Spirit that is upon you, and will put the same upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, that you may not bear it yourself alone." So he's like, here's going to be a group of people to help you out. "Then you shall say to the people, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, for you have wept in the hearing of the Lord, saying, who will give us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you meat, and you shall eat. You shall eat not 1 day, not 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes loathsome to you." So God's like, all right, you want meat? You're going to have so much meat you can't handle the meat. because you have despised the Lord who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we ever come out of Egypt? So first they're complaining they're in Egypt. Then they complain, no matter what you do, some people are just going to gripe because they have to have something to gripe about. They're not content unless they're whining and complaining. And Moses said, the people whom I am among are 600,000 men on foot. Yet you have said, I will give them meat, that they may eat for a whole month. Shall flocks and herds be slaughtered for them, to provide enough for them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to provide enough for them? So Moses is being a little sarcastic. He's going, how do you expect them to get fed? And the Lord said to Moses, has the Lord's arm been shortened? Now you shall see whether what I say will happen to you or not. So Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and he gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and placed them around the tabernacle. Then the Lord came down in the cloud, and spoke to him, and took the Spirit that was upon him, and placed the same upon the 70 elders. And it had happened, when the Spirit rested upon them, that they prophesied. Also they never did so again. But 2 men had remained in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them. Now they were among those listed, but who had not gone out to the tabernacle, yet they prophesied in the camp. And a young man ran and told Moses, and said, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. So Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, one of his choice men, answered and said, Moses, my lord, forbid them. Then Moses said to him, are you jealous for my sake? Oh, that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would be his Spirit upon them. And Moses returned to the camp, he and the elders of Israel. Now a wind went from the Lord, and it brought quail from the sea, and left them fluttering near the camp, about a day's journey on this side, and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of the ground. God can cause a wind to bring quail for people to eat. He can do anything. And the people stayed up all that day, all night, and all the next day, and gathered the quail. He who gathered least gathered 10 omers, and they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth, before it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was aroused against the people, and the Lord struck the people with a very great plague. I was kind of wondering, honestly, and I don't know if y'all were wondering this or not, but it's just my opinion. I was kind of curious if COVID was a plague, because it was all around the world, and a lot of people did die from it, and because our nation is just, it seems to me, just my opinion, like it's falling apart. There is still good, and there is still good people in the world. I will always have hope for that. But, in a lot of ways, it's falling apart. If you ask your grandparents, how they saw society being, and, if they ever thought they'd see what's going on in the world today, they'd be like, no, I would have never thought. That was one thing that my husband's grandma, she was really kind of saddened at the end of her life to see how the world is now. She's like, I never would have thought I would have seen the things that I see today. And that's kind of sad. But, so he called the name of the place Kibroth Hattaavah, because there they buried the people who had yielded to craving. When Kibroth Hattaavah, the people moved to Hazeroth and camped at Hazeroth. So now they're at Hazeroth. So, and we'll see what happens next tomorrow. So anyway, but yeah, there's so many things going on. But anyway, but I pray for all of you Facebookers and YouTubers today, for you to have a great day, a prosperous day if you're working. I hope you have a great day at work. If you're off today, enjoy it with your family. That's pretty much it. Peace.